I just told him that we had had 2 goals to improve and to honor our seniors, and I congratulated him on doing both, despite the arriving late. And that's one thing I would say in Division II that has been much different than I expected, and that is the locker room situations. I didn't think it was legal to divide teams. Did you happen to see the locker room? I mean, we were divided into 3 different rooms, and it's so hard to get your team together, let alone being 45 minutes late.
3 different rooms, like 3 different sections?
3 different small locker rooms. Yeah, and it is really disconcerting. And but
that's a new locker room they have, right?
it's a relatively new facility. Yeah.
Well, I remember years ago, behind
Down.
your sideline, that ball field down there, they would put a tent up. Like a
Really?
service tent. Yeah. And then
That's
string
what
up
you did?
Christmas lights. I remember one year that Frank was going nuts because you couldn't see. It was a night game. And they're trying to get ready and they couldn't see anything. And
Wow.
a tent.
So I guess you're glad you got to step up.
Wow.
You got inside
Yeah,
this
stepped
time.
up. Yep. Special teams continue to do some really good things. We only punted twice. Punt return forced between pressure and we had a partial block. And I think just being afraid of Quasi, we had a 22-yard net, a 19-yard net. We did, they tried to fake, and we tackled them for -5. And then Quasi did one of his special returns again for a touchdown. Abe Satterfield I made mention of to the team because he had their best player who was really good, number 1, prior. And they punted into that corner. And Abe didn't win every time, but Abe really competed with him. And did a great job with him. Kickoff, we gave little Joey Menser an opportunity twice just to see how he would do when he kicked both of them out of bounds. I felt terrible for him, but our coverage was really good. We got 1 kickoff return and they mortared it and we got it back to the 42. Our PAT and field goals were 100% and the block unit never had to go out, so that was good. Offensively, obviously the key of the day was rushing for 328 yards. We possessed the ball for 37 minutes. Certainly did not throw it as well as we would like to, but hopefully that'll improve as Pat gets more comfortable with things and we get to understand what he throws best. Defensively, I know I've been involved in a lot of games that have been under 100 yards, but I don't think I've ever been involved in a game with 1 yard. And 1 yard divided by 50 isn't many inches. So, obviously I had 33 yards passing and minus 32 yards rushing, and we had great pressure, but we certainly have not gotten turnovers in our. As much as DK works on it, we do not catch the ball very well in the secondary, and maybe that's why they're back there. The award winners, prep special team was Dakota Rhodes. Young guy's made a nice impact. Prep offense for the first time, Byron Dovals. He's got a real good future. He's an offensive lineman with us. And prep defensive guys, Tyler Dumermuth. Special teams player of the game was Eddie Gavitt. Just kind of quietly goes about doing what he's done. The ROTC player of the game was Harvey Tuck. And the Coaching for Life Truthful Award went to Anthony DePisquale. Anything else from last week? Okay, Clarion is 5-3. They're I think the most improved team in the league. You know, our common opponents, they beat Lock Haven 24-0. But the turnaround game for them was Cal. The very next week, they lost to Cal and should have beaten them. And then since then, they've gone on a streak of confidence, I think. They began in 42-21. They beat Slippery Rock 27-10, and then came back and beat Mercyhurst 29-25. You know, some very impressive things offensively, and I think they're a real steady, solid defense. They've gotten, I think the biggest defense stat is they've sacked a quarterback 26 times, and they've only given up 7 sacks. And our captains for Clarion, special teams, Anthony Constantine, who has really come on strong the last couple of weeks. In a surprise, offensively, Harvey Tuck. That doesn't happen very often with your second team tailback. And defensively, Carlos Jeter. And the character quality this week is humility.
When you make the schedule for the character qualities, do you match them up any with opponents at all?
DK does that. And takes through the year, but that's his. And I think he tries to give me some of the easier ones. Maybe partly involved in that. But yeah, they are planned out ahead of time. And you know, as he explained humility yesterday, it doesn't have to do so much with your self-esteem, but in how you treat others. And so there's really some good stuff. Quality of being respectful and considering others better than yourself. Teamwork's a constant balancing act between self-interest and group interest. And this is one your father would have known from Proverbs. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourself.
To me, it seems like it ties in well with Clarion because of last year.
In what regard?
They did not come here respectfully, apparently. So, I guess my question is, what happens if that happens again?
Play the cards out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that would happen again.
Have you and Jay talked?
No, we have not. I mean, we talked after that game, and we've talked since then, but not this. But I haven't talked to any opposing coach the week of the game this year.
A year later, was that as tough a day as it seemed? In terms of...
It was hard. It certainly was difficult for me because I don't... I've been on the short end of anybody who's been in it long enough's been in the short end of talent or been in the short end of the stick, and you don't appreciate you remember guys who try to stick it to you, and it's certainly not something I approve of. So I don't think it's ever comfortable.
So even, I mean, hours after the game, you weren't okay yet, were you?
No.
You remember you saying last year that you didn't sleep too well when I
Yeah,
watched the game.
right. Just questioning whether you did the right thing or not. Right.